the idea came up in 2004 when I was doing all these researches for the Atlantis album, which was also a concept album, but about Atlantis. But already back then there was like such a variety of sources, of inspirations. You know, it's a global myth, and that was one thing. But the other was like how it was like coming from completely different views. You know, we have like the history nerds, ecologists, or you know, serious science looking for stuff like that, like a myth like Atlantis. Is there something real behind? Then you have like esoteric views. Then you have like people going to ufology, thinking aliens are connected to Atlantis, to even the Third Reich had scientists looking for some evidence for their kind of weird history or point of views they had. And so you go like, wow, that's all for one topic. And then the idea came up like to do something as a next step, like the occult, about like all the kinds of things you can write and find about the dark side of humanity. Yeah, you know, like this more legends and tales like that. Yeah, it could be interesting. But for that occult trilogy, you know, it's not only one way. You know, a lot of people think like, oh, cool, this is about Satanism stuff. Yeah, it's maybe a part of it, but you know, there's so much more behind it. Like all these places you can go and visit yourself. You know, if it's like spooky places or like historical places, things happen there, and also people about their science, about their power and how they used it. You know, all these hidden societies you have, like, or orders, you know, when people have like this conspiracy theories, and you know, you can see it nowadays. Now a lot of things come out because we have like internet and you know, big media, and still, you know, people are getting brainwashed and manipulated. You know, fear was always the best instrument for the mighty powers in the world to control people. And it's also about that, you know, it's not one straight topic. It's like, you know, kind of time traveler and collecting all these stories and put it together in a notebook. And that's also like the concept of the cover artwork. You know, it's also like real historic facts, you know, but some stuff people might not even heard about or have not the idea. Also myself, you know, it's like a big discovery, finding stuff out, and even people telling me their ideas. Hey, have you heard about this? You can check out that. I have a friend, Maite, she's a singer from Elfental in Spain, and she lives in the Basque country, and they have a very interesting tale from there. It's about the Cathedral of the Devil. It's actually a cave, the Tsugaramurdi cave, and they had like pagan fests, or you know, probably stuff against the Christian society, and doing their own thing. And then it was like this witch cult and witchcraft. Shocking for this Christian people, and it turned out like it was like one of the most brutal things happened in the Inquisition in Spain. They wanted to tear this all down, and they tortured people. So they accused them, and some did not want to confess, so they killed them even before the execution. And instead of, you know, executing them, they had to build puppets up and on the stake and burn them, you know, while it was so crazy. And things like that, you know, you find out about the really bizarre world of humanity.
We have the same in France, actually.
Oh yeah, we have some stories about some French history, also on the first album, like La Voici, which is a totally crazy story. And then on the new album we have like Gilles de Rais is correct, yeah. Devil's Covenant, the song where L.G. Petrov from Entombed AD is on as a guest vocalist. Yeah, a super Christian turning into a completely mad Satanist and serial killer, which was the companion of Jeanne d'Arc. That's a story, and that's the stories from Occult. Yeah, and yeah, that's why it's probably also interesting just to dig out stuff like that. Besides, like, you have still this way you have like occult places and sites like haunted houses and castles and stuff, you know, where you always can find also some crazy story about, and you know, this is also this kind of supernatural part I also like about it. So that's not only one side. It's probably also too much to explain here, and an artist should not always explain his own art, you know. And actually, most of it is about, you know, the music. We wanted to deliver a super brutal album with Atrocity, with great songs, and of course a great lyrical concept. One album would not be enough. That's why from the start we said, we make a trilogy this time. Atlantis was already quite hard to put it all in, like rise and fall of the Atlantean Empire. And yeah, then that was the best plan to make a trilogy to fit everything in. Yeah. Okay, we have the choir singing on the album, which is also great, and of course, LG and Mark, former Morgoth, are old buddies of mine, and they were also on the DVD from Atrocity, The Godless Years. And yeah, when I had the idea, hey guys, come on, join us on the new Atrocity. We know us since the golden times of death metal, back in the late 80s and the early 90s, and so yeah, it's super great that both of them were completely up for it, and yeah, it was time to make some music together after such a long time. Yeah, at Master Sound Studio. Okay, LG was recording in Sweden and Mark in Berlin. And it's also great, like when we just talked about the golden times of death metal, like I remember back in the day when we had not so many studios or agents booking death metal shows. I was very much involved in the death metal underground and did also festivals. And one festival was called Support the Underground, and there was a very young band from Sweden, which I wanted to have on that festival, called Entombed. So that's why we know each other from back in the day, also playing together. Also in Paris. The festival was also taking place here. And if you want, there's a crazy story about it. Because like today, lots of traffic. It was also back then. Like I said, there were like several bands: Carcass, Punch and Stench, Atrocity, Entombed. I think this Harmonic Orchestra played also. And yeah, and I was tour manager, organizer of the tour, young kid, and singer of Atrocity as well. Yeah, and I think it's done in a refreshing way, because a lot of people telling me now, wow, the production is awesome. They love the guitar sound, the punchy drums, and the variety in the vocals, the choirs, this horror atmosphere, like everything we wanted to bring in, and that is an album not sounding like, you know, like a trend album or completely whatever, you know, underground production or something like that. No, it's a refreshing, it's a powerful modern production, but done in an organic way, like handmade. Like that's why you say that you can smell like this true spirit of the music, and that's what I feel too. First is the release show. We're gonna play on a festival in Germany, and there are plans for tourings. We have already offers from Dubai to USA. So we will see how we will handle everything. The main part will be probably in 2019. I hope we will be back in France again. It would be great to play for you guys. And also we have some cool ideas for the live shows and stuff. Yeah, let's see what happens.